2017. So from 2017 till date, I am acting as a branch counselor. So I think they might have mentioned that I have received a branch counselor award, I think in Malabar section in 2018 and from IEEE Kerala section in 2019. So I have to thank all my students. So you know that IEEE is really a volunteering activity. So I myself have voluntarily taken this position. And in fact, our student community at NIT Calicut is really very dedicated. So initially, I have concentrated in 2015 when I was 14 when I was taken the charge initially. I was not knowing most of the things. Then later, I understood many things which is carrying out and the drawbacks, and that really helped me a lot to overcome some of the difficulties when I taken charge a second time at NIT Calicut. So just towards the success story, what I want to communicate to this community, selection of a student team. So unless otherwise, if the students are not selected properly, I don't think it end up with a great success. So again, I remind that IEEE is really a volunteering activity. So every student may not be good in volunteering activity. So especially since we are teaching our students right from second semester, so we have regular contact with our students. So we are keenly observing. So we are selecting the students according to their wish. So sometime you may conduct election, sometime you can leave them. Whoever is volunteer, they themselves can come and take the charge. So in my tenure at NIT Calicut, I give full freedom to the students to select themselves. I never interfere in that, because once if you nominate someone, you will be responsible for that. So I never nominate anyone. By themselves come voluntarily that, sir, I can do this, I can do that. Unless otherwise, if there is any competition, I myself look into their background and contribution towards IEEE NIT section, then I myself prefer either secretary or maybe chair, vice chair, like that. So you know that IEEE membership itself is very costly comparing to any professional society. I guess IEEE registration is little bit costly, maybe for faculty members as well as students. They are really costly. So NIT, the culture is there that whatever registration charge they are giving, everything they are getting it back. Means in terms of program, in terms of activity, each and everything they are actively involving, and they are ensuring that whatever they are investing, they are getting back. That is the first promise what we have to move towards students. Suppose if they are giving some registration charge, so we have to see that they are getting benefited maybe in terms of attending programs inside the campus and outside of the campus. All those things we have to see. Then NIT Calicut, especially what the unique feature I observe, placement. So if you see the history, the students who acted in the office bearer level like a chair, vice chair, definitely this managerial skill helped them a lot in getting a placement. So that I have observed in the past 4 or 5 years at NIT Calicut. Maybe in the second side, when my students are going to higher studies in IIM and other institute for doing MBA, they regularly send a mail to me telling that, sir, I was occupied this position, that position. Please witness and send a mail to my coordinator. Like that, they are regularly sending message. So such a usefulness to the student community really motivate the junior groups to involve more in the activities of our NIT, means a student branch. Say the another secret of NIT Calicut is that calendar. So every year we prepare a calendar. In fact, the chair of IEEE student chair is used to prepare the calendar. We have a very good calendar, and we have a lot of legend programs with tie-up with industries. So interface, during Tattva we conduct a symposium. All such events are not conducted this year or last year. These programs are being conducted for several years, maybe more than 10 years, 15 years. These type of programs are being conducted. So that quality is matter. And NIT Calicut maybe not concentrating on quantity of programs, but we much bother about the quality of program. So I'm proud to say that some program, especially interface, and during IEEE days, means Tattva, there is a technical festival conducted at NIT Calicut called Tattva. So that program, particularly the technical event, I think start like that. There are some programs. The number of registration is crossing 400. So as I pointed out, quality is the matter in NIT Calicut. And we have our own alumnus. NIT is very powerful about their alumnus. So we invited them for chairing some session, even for sponsoring apart from IEEE. Like that, that is another reason why we always succeeded here. So I request the other branches to concentrate in reputed programs. Suppose if you organize a program this year, try to see that you are trying to conduct that program every year regularly and maximum tie up with industries. So we conduct many hackathon in tie up with industries like Microsoft, or maybe with Accenture. Like that, there are many sponsor with industrial collaboration you can make. These type of programs really gives wide publicity to the student branch in the public forum. The main another thing what I want to communicate, IEEE student branch is one aspect. Promoting society is another aspect. In fact, in NIT Calicut, we have more than 9 societies, including Women in Engineering, IEEE PES, Computer Society, then Industrial Application Society, PELS, Power Electronic Society, like that, Control System Society, like that, different society we have. So especially comparing to student branch in society, especially in NIT Calicut, the PhD scholars are involving, so their involvement is more. So naturally, organizing a conference and involving in the section level programs, that type of activities are really promoted by our PhD scholars. Because you know that the involvement of BTech students may not be much. They may be actively involving in 1 or 2 years. But whereas when there are PhD scholars, they can very actively involve in IEEE program, maybe for the matter of 3 to 4 years. I'm proud to say that one of my PhD student called Rohit K. Matthew, who is currently working at NIE Mysore, who completed PhD under me, who received the great travel grant from IEEE to visit Belgium. So these are some notable achievements of our NIT Calicut, and in fact we have received $1,200 US from IEEE PS headquarters to promote activities. Like that, there are different activities, especially PhD scholars can promote. You know that in NIT Calicut, the speakers are not scarce. We have a lot of speakers from our own institute. In fact, there are many faculty members maybe visiting NIT Calicut in various events, including PhD defense and other activities. So suddenly I will be noticing about these type of events, and immediately we arrange lectures. Like that, we really promote to increase number of activities through societies. And the unique feature of NIT Calicut, which I have already mentioned, the office bearers. So we have our faculty members are actively involving in section level, headquarters level, or maybe IEEE India Council, so that the informations what we get at NIT Calicut may be immediately. So that is another backbone of our success. So these are a few points which I want to share with my fellow colleagues as a branch counselor. So student success is really our success. So Walland support, sometimes financial support. So we are working towards the success of students community. In fact, in this 4 or 5 years of experience at NIT Calicut, I'm very happy about my student community. They are really giving very good cooperation to conduct each and every program, maybe in the great successful manner. So though one side I'm concentrating on all the positive aspect, I myself concentrate on some negative aspect as a branch counselor. The first thing is my own personal career. So whenever we are concentrating on different programs, maybe our attention may be diverted. This is my own personal feeling I am sharing. It may vary from person to person. If there is anything wrong from my side, please neglect it. So NIT Calicut, the focus is given more to research. In fact, I myself concentrating more towards research nowadays, especially for the past 3 years. I am very actively involving in research. So I have guided 5 students so far, and more are 3-4 students are in pipeline. Since I'm highly engaged with research, I could not concentrate much, especially towards this volunteering activity. Second one, when you are a branch counselor, you should have a regular contact with headquarters. In fact, in NIT Calicut, we have the headquarters at Trivandrum. So whenever they are conducting a program in Trivandrum, we are supposed to travel from Calicut all the way towards Trivandrum. That really may be difficult. So especially for the active researcher like me, going from here to Trivandrum and coming back, hardly 2 nights gone. Then in addition to that, we have to spend stay there. So even though IEEE is bearing all the expenses, my time is sometimes precious to my scholar. So that's what I said in the beginning itself. That is my own personal. I'm sharing with you. If you take a charge as a branch counselor at the headquarters, maybe in the section level. Second one, sometime the lack of monitoring of particular students program, because I told you that in the section level, the IEEE section may be filled with full of BTech students. They are sometimes not matured enough. So in fact, PhD scholars very boldly handle the situation. They are matured enough. They are highly responsible. That responsibility you cannot get it from BTech students. Sometimes they misuse our name. In fact, I told you in NIT Calicut, there is a restriction in vehicle pass. Under some IEEE program, they get some vehicle pass and they may be using there for their own personal use. That is, I told you that there is a lack of monitoring towards the student community. Sometimes there is a naturally they may be misusing this and all, some drawbacks which which I have come across as a branch counselor at NIT Calicut. The other one maybe the reporting. So reporting is really backbone of any IEEE section. So sometime if we are concentrating on some other activities, we may not inform section properly. So you have to make a dedicated wing among your student community, which is to update in our website as well as to communicate to IEEE headquarters. Even sometime I also lag in this aspect. Though NIT Calicut is conducting lot of activities, sometime I may not report to headquarters. That is really one of the even bitter experience what I had at NIT Calicut. We are not supposed to do that. We have to report our program regularly to headquarters. That is the other one. In fact, I am searching a new branch counselor for the past 2 years at NIT Calicut to hand over the session, but they are not taking. I'm waiting for another better branch counselor at NIT Calicut. So these are some hurdles which I come across at NIT Calicut as a branch counselor. So I really thank you, IEEE Kerala section, to invite me to share some of my experience. If it is lengthy, extremely, I'm very sorry. I do not know how far this information is useful to you. Thank you. Thank you for your invitation. Thank you, all of you. If you have anything would you like to ask me, please ask me.
Thank you for your guidance, sir. We'll actually have a Q&A session after both of the talks, if that's okay.
Yeah, okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Now I'd like to hand the mic over to Arfuddin sir. Arfuddin sir will be guiding everyone on the best practices to be followed while applying for the IEEE Outstanding Branch Counselor and Branch Chapter Advisor Award.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
I'm going to share my screen. I have a small presentation.
Okay, sir.
I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
All right. Very good evening to all of you. I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to share my inputs about the Outstanding Branch Counselor Award application. In fact, the best practices of the IEEE student branch at my college, which is MJCET. In fact, I know Professor Samir very well. I have been interacting with him for the last 5 years. And I am also good friends with the IEEE CAS chapter chair of the Kerala section. So IEEE Hyderabad section and Kerala section have a very good rapport. And currently I'm serving as the secretary of IEEE Hyderabad section. In that capacity, I have continuous interaction with the executive committee members of various other sections, of which Kerala is the most prominent. And as you're all aware that the Region 10 Outstanding Large Section Award has been backed by Kerala Section last year, so we all look up to Kerala Section in their activities. Moving on with my presentation. I will just briefly talk to you about my college. It is called as Mufakhamja College of Engineering and Technology. It is named after the Nizam, or the ruler of Hyderabad before 1947. It was established in the year 1980. It's in the center of the city. We have intake about 780 for BE and 104 for ME, and we also have PhD programs. We were rated among the top 75 engineering colleges earlier on. The IEEE student branch of the college was established in 2002. And in fact, it was the first student branch of the college, and we have been running it successfully for the 19th year now. And having a sustained activity for 19 years is really a big task. This is the evaluation criteria for the Outstanding Branch Counselor Award. And I'm going to touch upon all these activities very briefly, one in each slide. So we have to give the evidence of that the student branch is active in terms of organizing various events of paper and hardware and technical competitions, and also do field trips. We have to show the membership level and its growth. We have to discuss that we are trying to strive for the tagline of IEEE, that is advancing technology for humanity, and leadership qualities of the students should be improved. And we have to help the students in conducting yearly activities year on year. And finally, we have to improve the interaction between the student branch and the local IEEE section. So these are the points based upon which the OBC award will be given out. So the reason that I feel I have been chosen for giving this presentation by the IEEE Kerala section is that the IEEE MJCET has been in the foray of getting a lot of awards. They are listed here. I don't want to read them all out here, but we have got the Darrell Chong Award, the Richard E. Merwin Award, the Vibrant Chapter Award, and we have also designed an IEEE sponsored project for the replication of J.C. Bose millimeter wave experiment. And we also are in the recipient of R10 Outstanding Large Branch Counselor Award in the year 2010 by one of our former counselors. I'm the third counselor for this chapter. So the founder counselor was Professor Sultana Azim. Then she was followed up by Dr. Kaleem Fatima. And my term is from 2015 till date. For the last 6 years, I have been taking care of it. We have 6 societies, society chapters and affinity group, the PES, Computer Society, WIEC, CAS, CIS, and Robotics and Automation Society, each one having their own faculty. We have a very structured approach in running the IEEE student branch. And the biggest reason for our success is that the management sponsors the IEEE membership fees of all the faculty members and also a few students. This is the organizational structure. We have the counselor, the mentor, and followed by the student executive committee. The central student executive committee consists of the chair, vice chair, secretary, and treasurer. And each of these are actually the chairs of the various bodies. So if someone is the chair of the PES, ICS, and CAS, so they will go as vice chair, secretary, or treasurer of the central execom. So we have a central execom followed by these individual bodies. As far as the activities are concerned, we have planned activities across the year, and we submit our activities in the month of August to September for the annual rebate. And we also have the need-based activity whenever the IEEE Hyderabad section reaches out to us to host various distinguished lectures and technical workshops and stuff like that. As we are at the center of the city, we are, in fact, you can say the friend of IEEE for organizing and hosting various events. This is the yearly calendar in a bird's eye view. I will be touching upon a few of these activities as I move on, but we cover a gamut of activities, and we try to do everything that is possible. And though we are not perfectly aligned, and we have our own set of drawbacks and all, but I will briefly discuss about each one of them. The first one is the IEEE elections. So we have a very, finalized layout for the elections. We have a proper call for election schedule is given. There is a database created for the members. We have been maintaining over 100 members any point of the year. Only in 2 years and in the last year of pandemic, our memberships came down, but otherwise we have had over 100 members all along. And we do not encourage students with backlogs or less than 65% to become the execom member. There are election speeches that people are invited to give, and then there is voting, and finally the decision stays with the committee. The committee comprises of the counselor and the chapter advisors. So the central execom and everything is announced on the annual day. So following elections, in the next 15 days or 1 week itself, we have the annual day. We felicitate the outgoing chair presents the annual report. We give letter of appreciations to our outgoing execom. We invite the section chair or secretary as the guest for the annual day, and we release the newsletter on this occasion. We give appointment orders to the new incoming execom, and the incoming chair presents what they want to do for the next year. They all are connected through an email group, which is IEEE MJCT execom. Immediately after the IEEE annual day, we plan the officer training, in which we show how the students how to do the L31 reporting, how to go ahead with the IEEE website awards page, create an IEEE.org email address. That's a real important thing for all of them. And then officer reporting is done. So I file the officer report for the chapter chair, and he takes care of the rest. He or she will take care of the rest. We also send our students for nominations to the SAC committee, which is also called a student network membership. Just like you have Link in Kerala, we have something called as SN in Hyderabad section. Then we give trainings on how to make brochures and all using Adobe Photoshop, Google Forms, how to be filled up. There is also a leadership skill training on email etiquette and personality development. So this is a simple program that we try to chalk out. This is all not done in a day's time. We spread these activities over a couple of weeks. Then there is a student execom meeting that is scheduled on every Friday. Not every Friday, it's on the third Friday of every month from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. We try to follow a rule which is called as the 3-miss rule. If you miss out on this meeting for 3 consecutive meetings without information or prior permission, then we will drop the student out automatically. And we encourage that the meeting minutes should be noted. Minutes should have simple things like action item, who is the in charge, and what is the deadline by which the action should be executed. And report of all the events is presented in the chapter chairs meeting, and then we try to close on the finances as well as to how much money is required for maintaining the events. Let's talk about the events that we do on the monthly basis. We try to engage the students at a very rudimentary level. For the first years, we do just a minute session and extempore for an ice breaking for them, so that we don't go really technical. We have the non-technical events for the first years. This is organized by second years. So we give organizing opportunity to the second year students. Then the technical events like hardware design, circuit tricks, and code software programming are done for second year students. So this is organized by third year students. And finally, we have the career guidance like CRT and GRE TOEFL preparation, mock interviews, and students who are already placed. And let me tell you that our IEEE executive committee, 90% and more students are placed in the campus placements. So that's a real value add-on. So the target is third years, and organizers are final year students or the alumni of the IEEE branch. One very positive aspect that we have is the student social responsibility program. Just like you have got corporate social responsibility, we have come up with SSR. This is conducted by the Women in Engineering. WIE affinity group. What we do is we go to government and aided schools and donate free textbooks. Sorry, in which free textbooks are given. So you know what happens in, I don't know about Kerala, but in Hyderabad, in the Telangana, the government gives textbooks. They don't give notebooks. All right. And the students are so poor that they are not able to afford notebooks. They have got textbook, but what do you got? And like if you look at kindergarten, they don't have slates and chalks. And the parents are so poor that they can't afford that as well. So we tell the students not to pay money. Every student is encouraged to bring in 1 or 2 notebooks, 2 pencils, 1 pen, chalk, stuff like that. So we pull it all together, and there's a campaign that we drive across the college. Some people come forward to donate bags, computers, fans, so stuff like that also has been happening. And our girl students have also gone to the school and given some computer training, because you know the irony of situation is that there is a computer lab in the government school, but there is no computer teacher to teach that. So that's they are contract basis and they have their own issues. So we try to do something at that level. We have something called as electrical hazards seminar, and our PES chapter has already covered 25 schools. So what they do is they go to small schools. I mean, we try to do the engagement from the students side of it. It's not the same students will go and do the activity everywhere. We make teams of 2 to 3 students, and they will visit different schools and try to do this activity. And there is a student, teacher, and researcher program where we invite the school students to visit. So there is a video of IEEE Women Engineering. If I have time and there is a possibility, I'll share it with you. Then there is the Student Professional Awareness Conference. So my predecessor has talked about an event that they are organizing at NIT. So we do this event every year, and we try to apply for the $300 sponsorship that we get from headquarters. This is called as SPAA. We make students in charge for marketing, logistics, and all the other activities. There's a paper presentation contest, which is made mandatory for our third year students. See, being the head of the department, I get to play some active role in encouraging the students. So I just kind of make students, whether willingly or not, I ask them to participate. So they do participate, not all, but still we have got good participation in these type of activities. Then we also try to encourage school students near the vicinity of the college to come and have a look at the gadget exhibition. And we identify all our future readers from this SPAC from this conference that we are organizing. This is just a glimpse of what we have been doing earlier. These are the school students, and we give opportunities for our students to give paper presentations. There's something called as a knowledge transfer program, in which the final year students will do a demonstration of what they have done in their final year project to their juniors, and we try to associate the third year students with the final year students. And most of our projects, what we do is the faculty who are pursuing PhD, we request them to give their research problems to their master students, and master students along with BTech students we try to request them to work on these type of projects. So we have a best project award. It is titled after our very own Abdul Kalam sir. We call it as Abdul Kalam Innovation Day. We have one technical visit every year. We have been to Birla Science Center, Wipro, Srisailam Nuclear Fuel Complex, and we have been to other places. So we have a regular website. We post all the upcoming events. This is something that is close to my heart. We have the privilege of replicating the Sir J.C. Bose millimeter wave experiment that he conducted in 1894, in which he transmitted 60 gigahertz signal from one place to another. And our team of faculty members went to Kolkata. They saw the model and they replicated and created a working model in 2012, for which IEEE funded us with 5 lakh rupees. And it is on display in Birla Science Museum at Hyderabad. Another model is now currently available in World Trade Center at Bangalore GIEEE office, and we received a funding of 3.5 lakh rupees for making that model. Apart from doing technical stuff, we also have the fun activity. So we have an IEEE Sports Day that we organize. It's a second Saturday and Sunday 2-day event, and we try to have a special event for women separately as such. So in which the organizers are girls and participants are girls, and we keep the campus off boys for this kind of an activity, so that they uninhibitedly they can do their activities. So we have good collaboration with the Hyderabad section also. As mentioned, the disadvantages, of course, there are a few disadvantages. The BTech students, they try to take leverage of their positions. They will go out to students and they say, you follow me or you do what I say and I will make you the chair, the incoming chair and all that. So they try to flaunt the connections that they have with faculty, and Sometimes we also have hyperactive execom members in which they say, you don't listen to me, then I will suspend you and all that. So we have student politics and we need to deal with that. So we have issues with social networking in which they simply go ahead on the WhatsApp and post some nasty comments, and we have to get them off, and we have to look after all these things. So information percolation is again a issue. We have a grievance redressal mechanism is there. We have actually created a feedback at IEEE MJCET group. So what I would like to just say is branch counselor is like a full-time job. So as Professor Kumaravil has said that it impedes a lot with your research activity, and he's in search of a branch counselor. The same story goes with me, but we are trying to manage whatever best we can. So I hope that I have covered the evaluation criteria of OBC in all the previous slides. All the various points cater to what we have. And when we do the application form, the essay has to be written by the student chapter chair in favor of the branch counselor. So this is a glimpse of the essay, but you will feel, sir, we are not able to see anything. It is all the above slides expressed in English dialogues. So that's what it is. Then we have to also submit endorsement letters. So I have got a recommendation letter from my chairman, N. Venkatesh, chairman of IEEE Hyderabad section at that time. And I also was fortunate to get a recommendation from an IEEE distinguished lecturer who had visited Hyderabad, Professor Vladik Grabinski, with whom I have built a very good repertoire, because I have organized a few international conferences as I was the chapter chair of IEEE Circuits and Systems Society for quite some time. So as a part of that, I had organized international conferences and invited people. So build a good relationship with them, and they also supported my candidature for Outstanding Branch Counselor Award. Then these are letters from my dean and my other colleagues. So chapter advisor of the CIS chapter and my dean also gave letters in my favor. And as a result of all these activities and all the endorsement letters and all, I was awarded the Outstanding Branch Counselor Award for 2019. I believe I have conveyed what I wanted to say in these activities. So with that, I think I will close. Thank you very much for the time allotted. If you have any queries, you can reach out to me on arif.sohail@ieee.org. Thank you very much again for the opportunity to speak. Over to you.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your experiences and letting us know the insights or various practices to be followed. We are really indebted to you for letting us know of all these practices. Now, I would let's start the Q&A session. So, if the participants have anything to ask the speakers, now's the time to do so. Thank you. Please feel free to use the chat box. I would like to repeat, if the participants have any doubts or queries that need to be cleared, now is the time to ask. The speakers would be glad to answer your questions. Thank you.
I don't think we have any questions, Thomas, so we can go ahead and close. If there are any, they can send an email.
Okay, sir. Thank you for your patience. As a sign of our gratitude and appreciation, we would like you to accept these mementos we have made for you. We once again thank you for accepting our invitation and attending the session, and we hope that your guidance proves truly rewarding for the participants. We sincerely thank you for sparing your time
Yeah.
and instructing the students.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. In fact, I could not make PPT. I am really wondering, he make a very good PPT. I think that PPT is really good, much informative. So currently I'm in lab, so could not make the PPT. Extremely sorry for that. Anyhow, please go ahead. Wish you all the best. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Before
Thanks
we
to the
all leave,
organizers.
we would like to thank you, sir. Before we all leave, it would be great if we could have a photo session. It would be very kind if all of you could, on your videos, we could take a quick pic.
The photo session finished. Thank you.
1 second, sir. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Once again, I would like to thank all the participants and the speakers for joining and spending your time with us. I would like to thank Shankar sir as well as the VSACs for inspiring us and guiding us throughout the conduct of this event. Thank you.